Your status is not your story. The Rise Method. Alexandra Sterling. Before we dive deep into this journey of transformation, I want to take a moment to connect with you. Yes, you, the one watching this right now. You see, we're about to explore something powerful together. We're going to talk about rising above your circumstances, breaking free from limitations, and creating a life that matches your true potential. This isn't just another motivational video. This is a blueprint for real change. But here's the thing. Spreading this message, reaching more people like you who are ready to rise, takes support. Every like, every subscription, every share helps this message reach someone else who needs to hear it right now. Think about it. Somewhere out there is someone feeling stuck, someone believing they can't rise above their circumstances, someone needing exactly what we're about to discuss. Your simple act of liking and subscribing helps them find this message. If you've ever felt that there's more to life than what you're currently experiencing, if you've ever wanted to break free from your current status, if you've ever dreamed of rising higher, then you're in the right place. And by supporting this channel, you're helping create a community of people committed to rising together. So take a moment right now, hit that subscribe button, tap that bell for notifications, and let's start this journey together. Your support doesn't just help the channel grow, it helps spread a message that can change lives. You know what's funny? We all have this little voice in our head. That voice that says, that's not for people like me, or I could never do that, or who am I to think I could be successful? Let me tell you something that happened to me last week. I was giving a talk at a local community center, and this young guy, Tommy, comes up to me after. He's maybe 19, works at the grocery store, lives in one of the roughest neighborhoods in town. He says to me, "Miss, I watch these videos of successful people online. They're always in nice suits, fancy cars, big houses. And every time I watch them, I feel smaller, like I'm watching a world I can never be part of." And right there, Tommy hit on something huge. This feeling that your current situation, your status, somehow defines what you can become. But here's the thing, and this is what I told Tommy. Have you ever noticed how many of those same successful people have stories that start exactly where you are? Take Steve Jobs. Everyone knows him as this genius who built Apple. But did you know he was given up for adoption? His adoptive father was a mechanic, his mother an accountant. They weren't poor, but they weren't rich either, just regular people. Or how about Oprah? Man, her story gets me every time. She didn't grow up wearing designer clothes. She wore dresses made from potato sacks. For real, potato sacks. Now she's one of the most powerful women in the world. But look, I'm not here to give you some fairy tale about how anyone can become a billionaire. That's not what this is about. This is about something much more important. This is about understanding a simple truth. Where you are right now is not where you have to stay. You know what the crazy part is? I've spent years working with people from all walks of life, from ex-cons to trust fund kids, from high school dropouts to PhDs. And you know what I've learned? The biggest thing holding most people back isn't money or connections or opportunity. It's the story they tell themselves about who they are and what they deserve. Let me tell you about Maria. She was a cleaning lady at a big tech company. Every morning she'd come in before sunrise to clean the offices of people making six-figure salaries. But instead of just seeing herself as the cleaning lady, she did something different. While she cleaned those offices, she started paying attention. She noticed how the successful people talked, what they read, how they handled problems. She started picking up books from their desks during her breaks, reading what they read. 3 years later, Maria wasn't cleaning offices anymore. She was working in one. She taught herself coding during her lunch breaks, built a few simple apps, and eventually got hired by the same company, not as a cleaner, but as a junior developer. Now, was it easy? No. Did people try to tell her to stay in her lane? You bet they did. But here's what Maria understood. Your status isn't your story. It's just your starting point. In the next few hours, I'm going to share with you what I call the Rise Method. It's not complicated. It's not some secret formula that only works for special people. It's a simple, step-by-step way to change how you see yourself and how the world sees you. We're going to talk about real stuff, like how to walk into a room full of people more successful than you and feel like you belong there, how to stop apologizing for wanting more from life, how to deal with family and friends who try to pull you back down when you start rising up. But most importantly, we're going to talk about how to stop letting your current situation define your future. Think about all the labels people have put on you. Poor kid, dropout, wrong side of the tracks, wrong color, wrong accent, whatever they are. Now imagine taking all those labels and putting them in a box. We're not throwing them away because your past is part of your strength. But right now, we're going to learn how to write a new story. You know what most people get wrong about success? They think it's all about the big moments, the promotion, the business deal, the breakthrough. But that's not where real change happens. Let me take you back to Maria's story for a minute. Remember her? Our cleaning lady turned tech developer. Everyone focuses on the end of her story, how she landed that big job. But the real magic? It happened in those quiet moments before sunrise when she was making a choice most people wouldn't make. See, every morning she had two options. She could look at those offices she was cleaning and think, this is all I'll ever be. Or she could think, I'm learning from this. She chose to learn. But here's something I never told you about Maria. She failed her first 5 coding courses. Yeah, the ones she was taking online during her lunch breaks. Failed them completely. Most people would have quit right there. Gone back to just being the cleaning lady. Instead, she did something different. She started showing up an hour earlier to work, not to clean, but to practice coding before her shift. When her laptop broke, she used the public library computers. When she couldn't understand something, she'd write her questions down and ask the tech guys when they came in early. This is what I call the status mindset shift. It's the first step in the RISE method, and it's probably the most important. See, people stuck in their status always ask, why me? But people who rise ask, why not me? Let me break this down with another story. There's this guy named James I worked with last year. Growing up, his family was on food stamps. His dad was in and out of jail. Every teacher he ever had told him he'd end up just like his old man. You know what James did? He started hanging out at this local community center after school. Not to play basketball or waste time. He went there because he noticed successful business people would come volunteer there. And James? He'd ask them questions. Lots of questions. Of those business guys asks James, why do you ask so many questions? And James says something that changed his life. He says, because nobody in my family knows the answers, so I gotta learn from somebody. That businessman ended up becoming James's mentor. Today, James runs his own small business. Not some huge corporation, but a solid company that employs 15 people from his old neighborhood. See, that's the thing about status. It's not just about where you end up. It's about how you think while you're on the way there. Here's a truth bomb for you. Successful people don't have less problems than you. They just have different problems, better problems. Instead of worrying about making rent, they worry about investment returns. Instead of stressing about getting a job, they stress about growing their business. The first step to rising isn't about changing your situation overnight. It's about changing how you see your situation right now. Let me give you a simple example. Say you're working at a fast food joint. Most people see that as a dead-end job. But what if you saw it differently? What if you saw it as a free education in business operations? Because that's exactly what it is. You're learning about supply chains, customer service, team management, quality control, all the same stuff that big shot CEOs deal with, just on a smaller scale. This isn't about positive thinking or making yourself feel better about a tough situation. This is about seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. You know what's funny? When I tell this to people, they often say, yeah, but that's not realistic. And I always ask them, more realistic than staying stuck where you are? Because here's something most people never talk about. Success leaves clues. It's like a trail of breadcrumbs if you know what to look for. When I first started studying success patterns, I noticed something weird. Whether I was looking at someone who rose from poverty to become a business owner, or an immigrant who became a respected professional, or even someone who just moved from the projects to a nice suburban home, they all shared certain habits of thinking. Let me tell you about my own story for a minute. Growing up, we weren't poor, but we weren't rich either. Middle class, barely hanging on. My mom worked 2 jobs, my dad drove a truck. Every adult I knew was just getting by, but I had this Uncle Ray. He was different. He didn't have a college degree, didn't come from money. Started out working as a janitor, just like everyone else in our family. But somehow, by the time I was in high school, Uncle Ray owned 3 cleaning companies. Day, I asked him, how'd you do it? How'd you get out when everyone else? You know what he told me? He said, baby girl, I never saw myself as a janitor. I saw myself as a business owner in training. While everyone else was complaining about cleaning toilets, I was learning about chemicals, about managing people, about bidding on contracts. Same job, different mindset. That right there, that's what this whole thing is about. Your status isn't about where you are, it's about what you do with where you are. In the next few hours, I'm going to break down the RISE method for you step by step. We're going to talk about how to turn your current situation into a launching pad, not a prison. The exact steps to build the habits of successful people. How to deal with the haters, especially when they're your own family. The secrets of moving between different social classes without feeling fake. And most importantly, how to make sure you don't fall back once you start rising. But before we dive into all that, I need you to make me a promise. Promise that you'll stick with this even when it gets uncomfortable. Because here's the truth. Changing your status means changing yourself. And change, real change, it's not always comfortable. Remember Maria cleaning those offices? Remember James asking all those questions? Remember Uncle Ray looking at toilet cleaning as business training? They all had one thing in common. They were willing to be uncomfortable now to be unstoppable later. That's what the RISE method is all about. Not just dreaming bigger, but thinking differently, acting differently, becoming different. So let's make a deal right now. I'll give you everything I know about rising above your status, every strategy, every technique, every secret I've learned from studying thousands of success stories. But you gotta promise me one thing, no more excuses, no more that's not for people like me, no more letting your past define your future. Deal? All right then. Let's start with step 1 of the RISE method, rewiring your status mindset. Step 1, rewiring your status mindset. Something that'll make you mad. You've been lied to. Not just by others. Every time you look at successful people and say, must be nice, you're lying to yourself. Every time you say they got lucky, you're lying to yourself. Every time you think they probably had help, you're lying to yourself. Why? Because these lies keep you comfortable. They give you permission to stay stuck. Let me tell you about Kevin. Kevin worked at a gas station. Every day he'd see people pull up in nice cars, wearing nice clothes, living nice lives. And every day he'd tell himself, must be nice to be born into that. One day, a guy in a Mercedes pulls up. While Kevin's filling his tank, the guy's on the phone talking about a business deal. Kevin does his usual thing. Must be nice to have those connections. The guy hangs up and says something that changed Kevin's life. 10 years ago, I was working at a gas station too. Turns out this guy wasn't born rich. Didn't have connections. Started exactly where Kevin was. The only difference? He stopped lying to himself about what was possible. Here's the brutal truth. Your status mindset is built on lies. Lies like, you need money to make money. You need to know the right people. You need a degree. You need to be smarter. You need to be lucky. Are these things helpful? Sure. Are they necessary? No. Let me prove it to you. Sarah Blakely started Spanx with $5,000 and no fashion experience. Howard Schultz grew up in public housing before building Starbucks. John Paul DeJoria was homeless before starting Paul Mitchell. Oprah was born into poverty in rural Mississippi. The difference? They refused to let their status become their story. But let's get real practical. Here's what you're going to do tonight. 1. Grab a piece of paper. 2. Write down every single excuse you've been using. 3. Next to each excuse, write, and yet someone has succeeded despite this. Your dad was absent? And yet someone has succeeded despite this no college degree. And yet someone has succeeded despite this no money. And yet someone has succeeded despite this. This isn't about positive thinking. This is about honest thinking. Because here's the thing about status. It's not a prison unless you believe it is. But most people prefer the comfort of their mental prison over the discomfort of freedom. You want to know the real secret? The thing nobody tells you? Your status mindset isn't just about what you think you can't do. It's about what you're afraid you can do. Because if you can do more, be more, achieve more, then you have to face an uncomfortable truth. You've been holding yourself back. That's the real mindset shift. Not just believing you can rise, but accepting that you've been choosing not to. Tough to hear, right? Good. Growth should make you uncomfortable. Let's talk about something that happened at one of my seminars last month. I asked everyone in the room to do a simple exercise. Stand up if you believe you can double your income in the next year. Out of 200 people, guess how many stood up? 7. Just 7 people. So I asked one guy who stayed seated, let's call him Mike, why didn't you stand up? He said, be realistic. People like me don't double their income. That's for people with degrees, connections, rich parents. Now here's the interesting part. Mike was making $35,000 a year as a warehouse worker. The guy sitting next to him, Tony, was making $34,000 as a delivery driver. But Tony, he stood up. I asked Tony why he stood up. His answer changed the whole room. Look, he said, my dad was a delivery driver. His dad was a delivery driver. They both told me this was as good as it gets for people like us. But last week, I delivered packages to this guy who owns a trucking company. Found out he started as a driver too. The only difference between him and my dad, he didn't believe people who told him to stay in his lane. This right here is what I call the status mindset trap. It's not about your actual situation. It's about what you believe is possible for people like you. Let me break this down with a simple truth. Your mind is like a computer. But here's the thing, you're running on programming you didn't choose. You're running on software installed by your family's beliefs about money and success, your neighborhood's expectations, your friends' comfort zones, society's labels for people like you. Think about it. How many times have you heard, don't get too big for your boots, know your place? That's not for people like us. Be realistic. Every time you heard these things, it was like someone typing code into your mental computer. And now, that code is running your life. But here's the good news. You can rewrite that code. Let me show you how. Remember Maria from earlier, the cleaning lady who became a tech developer? Her first step wasn't learning to code. Her first step was giving herself permission to learn code. This is what I call permission thinking, and it's the first tool in rewiring your status mindset. Here's how it works. Every time you catch yourself thinking that's not for people like me, I want you to add 3 words. Until now. People like me don't start businesses. Until now. People like me don't invest in stocks until now. People like me don't speak at conferences until now. Sounds simple, right? Almost too simple. But this little phrase does something powerful. It moves you from a fixed status mindset to a growth status mindset. Let me give you a real example. There's this woman in Detroit, let's call her Lisa. Single mom, 3 kids, working 2 jobs. One day, she's cleaning hotel rooms, and she overhears two guests talking about real estate investing. Mindset would say, that's not for people like me. But Lisa added, until she went to the library that same day, borrowed every book she could find about real estate, started watching YouTube videos about property investing, joined free real estate groups on Facebook. 6 months later, she saved enough to take a real estate course. A year later, she got her license. Today, she owns 4 rental properties and manages properties for other investors. But here's what's crazy. She still cleans hotels, not because she has to, but because that's where she finds her real estate clients. The same job that used to be her prison became her networking ground. That's what happens when you change the programming. But let's be real, changing your mindset isn't just about positive thinking, it's about positive doing. And that brings us to the second part of rewiring your status mindset, the action loop. Here's how the action loop works. 1. Take a small action that feels uncomfortable. 2. Survive that discomfort. 3. Use that survival as evidence that you can do more. 4. Repeat with a slightly bigger action. Let me give you an example. My friend Marcus, he works in a warehouse, right? First action loop, he decided to go to a free business networking event at his local library, just showing up. That was step 1. Walking into that room was scary as hell for him. Everyone in suits, him in his work clothes, but he went. He survived. Nobody kicked him out. Nobody laughed at him. That's evidence. Next loop, he actually talked to someone there, just one person, asked them what they do. More evidence that he could exist in that world. Third loop, he got that person's business card, sent them a thank you email. Each step, each loop, building evidence that people like him can do these things. Now, a year later, Marcus goes to these events like it's nothing. He's even spoken at a few. Same person, different programming. But here's where most people mess up. They try to jump too big, too fast. They try to go from warehouse worker to CEO overnight. That's like trying to bench press 300 pounds when you've never lifted weights. You're gonna hurt yourself. Action loop is about building your status muscles slowly, steadily. But here's another tool I want to give you, the mirror exercise. Morning, I want you to look in the mirror and ask yourself 3 questions. 1. Who told me I couldn't do more than this? 2. Why did I believe them? 3. What evidence do I have that they were wrong? Let me show you how this works. Remember Tony, our delivery driver? Here's how he answered. 1. Who told him he couldn't do more? His dad, his teachers, his friends. 2nd, why did he believe them? Because they were the adults, the authority figures. They seemed to know what they were talking about. 3. Evidence they were wrong. The guy who owned the trucking company, living proof that drivers can become owners. See, your status mindset isn't just about what you think. It's about what you believe about what you think. Deep, right? But let's get practical. I'm going to give you your first assignment right now. It's called the 1 Level Up Challenge. Think about where you are right now, your job, your social circle, your daily routine. Now, I want you to identify one place where you can put yourself that's just 1 level above your current status. If you work in retail, maybe it's going to a Chamber of Commerce meeting. If you're a teacher, maybe it's attending a principal's conference. If you're a small business owner, maybe it's joining a mastermind group with bigger business owners. Just 1 level up, not 10 levels, not straight to the top, 1 level. Because success isn't a leap, it's a ladder, and you climb ladders 1. Let me tell you about Carlos. He was a dishwasher at a fancy restaurant. His 1 level up, he started eating his lunch in the dining room instead of the kitchen. Just that. Seemed small, right? But sitting in that dining room, he started noticing things. How the servers talked to customers, how the managers handled complaints, how the whole restaurant flowed. 3 months later, he was a server. 2 years later, restaurant manager. Today, he owns 2 food trucks and is opening his first restaurant. All because he decided to eat lunch in a different room. This is what I mean when I say your status isn't your story. It's just your current chapter. But to write the next chapter, you've got to believe you have the right to hold the pen. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but what about money? What about connections? What about all the real obstacles? We're going to talk about all of that. But here's what you need to understand. All those external obstacles, they're real, they exist. But they're not what's stopping most people. Stops most people is the voice in their head that says they don't even have. That's why we start with the mindset. Because once you change what you believe is possible, you start seeing opportunities you were blind to before. Step 2, your environment, ice your destiny. You ever watch those nature shows? You know how a plant grows differently depending on where it's planted? Put it in the shade, it stays small. Put it in the sun, it grows tall. Same plant, different environment. People work the same way. But here's the thing about humans, we get to choose our environment. Yet most of us stay planted in the shade, then wonder why we're not growing. Let me hit you with a story that'll mess with your head. There were these 2 brothers in Chicago. Same parents, same neighborhood, same schools. One's now a judge, the other's in prison. The judge visits his brother and asks him, "How did we end up so different?" The brother in prison says, "What do you mean? With a father like ours, always drunk and violent, how could I end up any other way? Later, someone asks the judge the same question. His response? With a father like that, how could I end up any other way? I saw exactly what I didn't want to become. Same environment, different choices. But let's get specific. Your environment isn't just where you live. It's the people you talk to, the media you consume, the places you go, the conversations you have, the things you see every day. Here's what most people do wrong. They try to change their life without changing their environment. That's like trying to quit drinking while hanging out in a bar. Let me tell you about Rachel, single mom, waitress, barely making ends meet. But Rachel did something smart. Instead of serving at the local diner, she specifically got a job at the restaurant where all the successful business people had lunch. Same job, different environment. Within 6 months, she'd picked up how successful people talk, what they read, how they think about money, what opportunities they see. But more importantly, she was in their environment. They stopped seeing her as the waitress and started seeing her as Rachel, who's really interested in business. One of her regulars ended up offering her a sales job. Today, she makes more in a month than she used to make in a year. The secret? She changed her environment before she changed her status. But let's get really practical. I'm going to give you the environment audit. Right now, grab your phone and 1. Look at your last 5 text conversations. 2. Check your last 10 social media interactions. 3. Think about the last 3 places you hung out. 4. List the last 5 people you got advice from. Are these people where you want to be or where you are? Here's a truth bomb. You will never rise above the average of your. Watch this. I'm going to show you how to hack your environment starting. Up. Here's how we hack your environment. I call these success triggers. Trigger. Change your physical spaces. You don't need money for this. Example. Instead of working on your business plan at home, go sit in the lobby of a nice hotel. It's free. Nobody's going to kick you out. The energy is different. The people are different. Your mindset shifts. Jackie did this. She was starting a small beauty business from her kitchen. Every Tuesday and Thursday, she'd dress up, take her laptop to the Marriott lobby, and work there. Guess what happened? She started meeting business travelers, made connections, got clients. Now she does makeup for corporate events. Cost? Just the price of a coffee. Second trigger, digital environment upgrade. Here's what you do. Unfollow anyone who's not where you want to be. Follow 20 people who are where you're heading. Join 3 Facebook groups about your target industry. Subscribe to 5 YouTube channels about success in your field. The real trick. Don't just consume. Engage, comment, ask questions. B. Let me tell you about Marcus. Remember him? Guy from the warehouse? He started commenting on LinkedIn posts from local business owners, just asking smart questions. After 3 months, one of them messaged him, "You ask good questions. Want to grab coffee?" That coffee turned into a job offer. Third trigger, the 2-hour rule. 2 hours every week in places where successful people hang out. Chamber of Commerce meetings, library business events, community college seminars, local business meetups, church business groups. Most of these are free, but nobody from your current environment goes there. That's the point. Fourth trigger, create your own environment. This one's my favorite. Start a success group. Find 4 to 5 other people who want more from life. Meet weekly, share goals, hold each other accountable. But here's the key, and I learned this the hard way. Don't just meet to talk, meet to do. Like Sandra's group. 5 ladies from her housing project. Every Saturday, they'd meet at the library. One week, they're all applying for better jobs. Next week, they're learning about credit scores. Week after that, they're studying real estate. Today, 3 of them own homes, 2 started businesses. All 5 got out of they created their own environment of success. Fifth trigger, the mirror environment. This one's different. It's about changing what you see every day. Put up pictures of where you want to live, how you want to dress, where you want to work, what you want to achieve, not like some wish board. These need to be real places, real people, real. Then, every morning, look at them and say, this is my environment now. Because here's what most people don't get about environment. It's not just about where you are. It's about where you see yourself belonging. Let me tell you about Jose. Man, his story hit different. Jose cleaned offices downtown. Every night after everyone went home, he'd clean these big corporate offices. But instead of just cleaning, he started doing something different. He'd sit in the CEO's chair, just for a minute, touch the desk, look at the view, feel what it felt like to be in that space. Coworkers thought he was crazy. Man, you gonna get fired sitting in these. But Jose knew something they didn't. He was programming his mind to feel comfortable in that environment. 2 years later, Jose wasn't cleaning offices anymore. He was working in one. Not as CEO, let's be real, but as an entry-level manager. How? Because when he got the interview, guess what? The office didn't feel foreign to him. He belonged there. But here's where it gets real. When you start changing your environment, you're going to face resistance. And it's going to come from the people closest to you. I call this the crab bucket effect. You ever seen crabs in a bucket? When one tries to climb out, the others pull it back down. Your friends, your family, they might not support your changes, not because they don't love you, but because your growth makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to look at their own lives. Like when remember Maria, our coder? When she started spending her lunch breaks learning instead of gossiping with coworkers, they turned on her, called her stuck up, said she was trying to be better than everyone. Here's how you handle this. 1. The 80-20th rule of environment. Spend 80% of your growth time with new environments. Keep 20% for your old environment. Don't cut off your roots, but don't let them hold you down. 2. The bridge back method. Instead of leaving people behind, build bridges. Show them the way, like Marcus did. Remember Marcus from the warehouse? When he started going to business events, his coworkers laughed. But when he learned something useful, he'd share it. When he made a good connection, he'd introduce others. Now, 3 of his old coworkers own their own trucks. Because he didn't just climb out of the bucket, he showed others how to climb too. 3. The environment protection plan. Set clear boundaries. Schedule your growth time. Don't announce your plans. Show results instead of talking about dreams. But here's the most important thing about environment, and this might hurt to hear. You can't save everybody. Some people in your life won't make the journey with you. And that's okay. Your job isn't to drag people up. Your job is to climb, and then reach back to help those who want to climb too. Think about it like this. On an airplane, what do they tell you about oxygen masks? Put yours on first before helping others. Same thing with environment. You got to get yourself in a better environment before you can help anybody else. Let me tell you about Derek. This story hurts, but you need to hear it. Derek was doing everything right. Started a small business, was making good money, had plans to expand, but he made one big mistake. He kept hanging in the same old environment. Every Friday night, same corner store hangout, same people talking about how the system's rigged. Same negative energy. He thought he was strong enough to handle it. 6 months later, business was gone. Why? Because every time he had a setback, those voices in his environment got louder. See? Told you it wouldn't work. That's not for people like us. Just get a regular job like everybody else. He let his old environment poison his new dreams. But check this out. Here's what successful environment shifters do. They create success zones. These are specific times and places where only growth is allowed. Like Lisa, single mom, 4 kids. Her success zone? Her car. Yeah, her car. Every morning, she'd get to work 30 minutes early and sit in her car. That was her time. She'd listen to business podcasts, read books, plan her goals. Her car became her first-class seat to a better life. Or take Marcus. Different Marcus, this time he's a barber. His shop was in the hood, but he created a success zone right there in his barber shop. Started a Sunday morning book club. Guys would come in early, before the shop opened. They'd discuss business books, share opportunities, make plans. Today, that barber shop is a franchise, 5 locations. But let me give you the real secret about environment. It's not just about where you are, it's about who you're becoming in that space. Here's an exercise I want you to do right now. It's called the 3 circles. Draw 3 circles. 1. Inner circle, where you are now. 2. Middle circle, where you want it to be in 1 year. 3. Outer circle, where you want to be in 5 years. Now, for each circle, write down what people talk about there, how they dress, what they read, where they hang out, what they value. Because here's what nobody tells you about rising up. It's not about making one big leap. It's about becoming comfortable in new environments before you actually need to be in them. Step 3, the money mindset shift. Money isn't just about dollars and cents. It's a language. Think about it. When was the last time you heard rich people talk about money the same way everyone else does? Money isn't what you think it is. It's not pieces of paper. It's not numbers in a bank account. Money is proof of value. That's it. Simple as that. The more value you create, the more money flows to you. But you've been taught wrong about money. You've been taught to fear it, to see it as scarce, to believe it's hard to get and harder to keep. All lies. Rich people know something you don't. Money is like oxygen. There's plenty of it if you know how to access it. Poor people suffocate financially not because there isn't enough money, but because they don't understand how it flows. Here's the brutal truth. Your relationship with money is messed up. You treat it like an enemy when it should be your ally. You chase it when you should be attracting it. You fear it when you should understand it. Stop saying, I can't afford it. That's poor people talk. Start asking, how can I afford it? That's rich people thinking. The question itself forces your brain to find solutions instead of accepting limitations. The money in your bank account right now, that's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of your thinking, your value, your ability to solve problems for others. Want more money? Solve bigger problems. Create more value. Stop trading time for money. Start trading solutions for money. The richest people in the world don't get paid for their time. They get paid for their value. Your job pays you for your time. That's why you're stuck. Trading time for money is a losing game because time is limited. But value is unlimited. You can create more value while you sleep. You can scale value without scaling time. Stop thinking about making money. Start thinking about creating value. Money is just a receipt for value created. No value, no money. More value, more money. It's that simple. But here's what nobody tells you. Your current income is your comfort zone. You've gotten comfortable with that number. You've adjusted your life to it, and that comfort is killing your potential. You need to get angry at average. You need to get uncomfortable with your current income, not because you're greedy, but because settling for less than you're capable of is a crime against your potential. The world's best kept secret about money is this: income has no ceiling, none. There's no limit to how much value you can create. Therefore, there's no limit to how much you can earn. The only limits are the ones in your mind. Rich people have money systems. Poor people have money problems. Stop focusing on your problems and start building your systems. Systems that make money while you sleep. Systems that scale your value. Systems that break the time for money trap. Your current money situation isn't your money destiny. It's just your money reality right now. And reality can change the moment you decide to think differently about money. Stop accepting what you've got. Start creating what you want. Stop managing money. Start mastering it. Stop being a victim of your financial situation. Start being the architect of your financial future. The choice is yours. But understand this: money will flow where value goes. Always has. Always will. Create enough value, and money has no choice but to come to you. Here's the raw truth about money most people will never understand. The richest people in the world look at money differently, not because they have more of it, but because they understand what it really is, a tool for creating more value. That's it. You think rich people love money? Wrong. They love what money can build, what it can create, what it can solve. Poor people obsess about money. Rich people obsess about value. Want to know why you're still struggling? You're focused on the wrong thing. You're focused on getting money instead of creating value. You're playing defense with your finances when you should be playing offense. Look at your bank account right now. That number isn't random. It's not bad luck. It's not the economy. That number is the market's exact measurement of how much value you've created. Harsh? Maybe. True? Absolutely. Stop blaming the system. Stop blaming the rich. Stop blaming your circumstances. The market doesn't care about your excuses. It only cares about one thing: value. Here's what's keeping you broke. You think small about money. You play safe with money. You feel guilty about wanting money. You believe money is hard to get. You see money as something limited. The wealthy think differently. Money is a game of multiplication, not addition. Money follows ideas, not time. Money rewards solutions, not effort. Money flows to value, not need. Money is abundant, not scarce. But let's get even more real. Your money mindset was programmed by people who were broke. Your parents, your teachers, your friends. They taught you what they knew, and what they knew was how to struggle with money. Rich people teach their kids to build businesses. Poor people teach their kids to get jobs. Rich people teach their kids to invest. Poor people teach their kids to save. Rich people teach their kids to take smart risks. Poor people teach their kids to avoid all risks. You've been running money software programmed by people who never figured out money themselves. Want to get rich? Start reprogramming. Stop working for money. Make money work for you. Stop saving money. Start investing it. Stop protecting money. Start leveraging it. Stop fearing money. Start understanding it. Stop chasing money. Start attracting it. The fastest way to make money is to forget about making money. Focus on solving problems. Big problems. Real problems. Problems people will pay to solve. Your job pays you for showing up. The market pays you for delivering value. Your job has a salary cap. Value creation has no cap. The market is begging for value. It's desperate for solutions. It's hungry for innovation, and it's willing to pay for it. All of it. But you're still thinking small, still playing safe, still doing what everyone else does and expecting different results. Wake up. The game of money isn't fair. Never has been. Never will be. But it is winnable if you understand the rules, if you change your thinking, if you focus on value instead of income. Stop being gentle with yourself about money. Stop accepting your financial situation. Get angry. Get hungry. Get serious about creating real value. Because here's the truth. The world doesn't need more workers. It needs more creators, more builders, more problem solvers. And it's willing to pay them extremely well. Listen, money is energy. It moves towards power, towards confidence, towards certainty. You know why some people walk into a room and opportunities just seem to find them? Because they radiate certainty. They radiate value. But you're still apologizing for wanting more, still feeling guilty about success, still thinking small about what you're worth. The market can smell fear, can smell desperation, can smell uncertainty, and it runs from all three. Here's something that'll make you uncomfortable. Every time you take less than you're worth, every time you discount your value, every time you work for cheap, you're teaching the market to undervalue you. The market will pay you exactly what you convince it you're worth, not a penny more, not a penny less. You know what kills most people's wealth? Not their lack of skills, not their lack of opportunities, their lack of audacity. They don't dare to ask for more. They don't dare to charge what they're worth. They don't dare to walk away from bad deals. Stop working hard. Start working smart. The market doesn't pay you for effort. It pays you for results. Nobody cares how hard you worked. They care what you delivered. Your salary is in your income ceiling. It's your safety net, but you've made it your ceiling. You've gotten comfortable, and comfort is the enemy of wealth. Rich people have multiple streams of income. Poor people have one stream and pray it doesn't dry up. Start building streams today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Every dollar you earn from a job is taxed the highest. Every dollar you earn from business gets tax breaks. Every dollar you earn from investments gets taxed the lowest. The system is telling you exactly where to put your money. Stop saving money in a bank account making 1% while inflation eats 7% of your wealth every year. That's not saving, that's losing money in slow motion. The real money isn't in having money, it's in understanding how money works, how it flows, how it multiplies, how it grows. Your net worth will grow only to the extent that you do. Want to earn more? Become more. Learn more. Create more. Solve more. The biggest money mistake you're making right now isn't what you're doing wrong with money, it's what you're not doing right with yourself. The market is speaking to you every day. Your bank account is giving you feedback. Your financial struggles are sending you messages, but you're not listening. Every time you're broke before payday, that's feedback. Every time you can't afford what you want, that's feedback. Every time you stress about bills, that's feedback. The feedback is clear. What you're doing isn't working, but instead of changing your strategy, you're just hoping things will get better. Hope isn't a financial strategy. Neither is working harder at the wrong things. Here's what the wealthy know that you need to understand. Money has rules. It's like gravity. It doesn't care if you understand it or not. It doesn't care if you believe in it or not. It just works according to its rules. Rule first, money rewards value exponentially, not linearly. Create a little value, make a little money. Create 10 times value, make 100 times money. Create 100 times value, make 10,000 times money. That's why a tech company can make more in a day than most people make in a lifetime. They created exponential value. Rule second, money follows attention. Where's the attention in your industry? Where's the attention in your market? Where's the attention going next? That's where the money's flowing, but you're still focused on where the money was, not where it's going. Rule third, money loves speed. The market rewards speed. The first to solve a problem, the first to spot a trend, the first to fill a gap. While you're waiting for the perfect time, someone else is making the money. Here's what's really holding you back. You're playing not to lose instead of playing to win. You're focused on protecting the little money you have instead of creating more money through value. Stop thinking about what things cost. Start thinking about what things are worth. Poor people focus on price. Rich people focus on value. That course that costs $2,000? If it teaches you how to make $20,000, it's not an expense, it's an investment. That mentor who charges $5,000, if they help you make $50,000, they're not expensive, they're cheap. That business that needs $10,000 to start, if it can make $100,000, it's not a risk, it's an opportunity. The real price isn't what you pay now. The real price is what you pay later for not investing in yourself now. Money is just a game, and like any game, once you understand the rules, it becomes winnable. The rules are simple. Value creates wealth. Speed creates opportunity. Systems create freedom. Knowledge creates power. Action creates results. Remember this, your current financial situation is temporary, but only if you decide it is. Only if you're willing to change how you think about money. Only if you're ready to stop playing small and start playing smart. The question isn't, can you become wealthy? The question is, are you willing to change how you think about wealth? Because here's the final truth about money. It's not about what you have to do to become wealthy. It's about who you have to become. Step 4, the action blueprint. Knowing isn't enough. Planning isn't enough. Learning isn't enough. The only thing that actually changes your life is action. But here's what most people get wrong. They think action means doing everything at once. They try to change their whole life in a day, burn out, and go right back to their old ways. Smart action is different. It's steady. It's consistent. It's strategic. Think about water hitting a rock. One drop doesn't do much. But constant drops, day after day, they can split that rock wide open. Most people get excited about success and try to do everything at once. They'll read 50 books in a month, start 3 businesses, attempt to network with everyone, and then wonder why they're exhausted and nothing's working. Success isn't about intensity. It's about consistency. You need to understand something crucial about action. It's not about what you do occasionally. It's about what you do daily. The small things you do every single day matter more than the big things you do once in a while. Your daily actions become your habits. Your habits become your routines. Your routines become your life. But here's the part nobody talks about. Action isn't just about doing. It's about becoming. Every action you take is either moving you toward the person you want to become or keeping you as the person you've been. When you're taking action to change your life, you'll face resistance, not just from others, but from yourself. Your old self will fight to stay alive. That voice in your head will tell you to stay safe, stay small, stay comfortable. This is where most people quit. They hit that resistance and think something's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Resistance means you're growing. Think about working out. When you feel that burn in your muscles, that's not a sign to stop. That's a sign your muscles are growing. Same thing with life. When you feel uncomfortable, when you feel that resistance, that's not a sign to stop. That's a sign you're growing. But you have to learn to be uncomfortable. You have to learn to act even when you're scared, even when you're not sure, even when you don't feel ready. Here's the truth about readiness. You'll never feel ready. Never. The successful people you admire, they weren't ready. They just started anyway. Stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is garbage. It comes and goes like the weather. You can't build a life on motivation any more than you can build a house on clouds. What you need is discipline. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. It means showing up. It means doing the work every single day. But discipline isn't about punishment. It's about freedom. When you have discipline, you have control. When you have control, you have power. When you have power, you have choices. Your actions today create your options tomorrow. Every single action you take is like a vote for the person you want to become. Make those votes count. The hardest truth about action is this: everyone wants a better life, but most people won't do what it takes to get it. They want the reward without the work, the success without the struggle, the victory without the battle. Success leaves clues. Watch successful people closely. They don't just act different, they think different about action itself. They don't see action as something special. They see it as normal, natural, necessary. You've got to become a person of action, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when conditions are perfect. Now, here's what kills most dreams: the gap between knowing and doing. You know you should start that business. You know you should learn that skill. You know you should make those calls. But knowing isn't doing. Stop planning to plan. Stop getting ready to get ready. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is a myth. The perfect plan is a fantasy. The perfect time is never. Every morning when you wake up, ask yourself one question. What's the one thing I can do today that moves me forward? Not 10 things. Not 5 things. One thing. Then do that thing first. Before the excuses come, before the distractions hit, before life gets in the way. You need to understand something about action that most people miss. Small actions compound. Like interest in a bank account. Every small action you take is an investment in your future self. When you make that uncomfortable phone call, investment. When you send that email, investment. When you stay up late working on your dream, investment. When you wake up early to learn, investment. But here's the part that's hard to swallow. You won't see results right away. Just like you can't plant a seed and expect a tree tomorrow. But you keep watering it, keep tending it, keep believing in the process. The problem with most people is they quit too soon. They take action for a week, don't see results, and give up. They work on their business for a month, don't make money, and quit. They go to the gym for 2 weeks, don't see changes, and stop. You've got to fall in love with the process, the daily grind, the unsexy work that nobody sees, the little actions that don't seem important at the time but add up to everything. Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop searching for hacks. Stop waiting for luck. The only hack that works is work. The only shortcut is consistency. The only luck that matters is the luck you create through persistent action. Your actions speak so loud I can't hear what you're saying. If you say you want success but your actions show laziness, you're lying to yourself. If you say you want wealth but your actions show carelessness with money, you're lying to yourself. If you say you want better but your actions show comfort with mediocrity, you're lying to yourself. The truth about action is written in what you do, not what you say you'll do. Start before you're ready. Start before you're confident. Start before you're sure. Start before you have it all figured out. Just start. Because here's the real secret about action. Action creates clarity. Action creates confidence. Action creates opportunity. Action creates luck. You want clarity? Take action. You want confidence? Take action. You want opportunities? Take action. You want luck? Take action. Stop waiting for life to happen to you. Start happening to life. Think about the last time you had a great idea. What did you do with it? Most people sit on their ideas, waiting for the perfect time. They wait for permission. They wait for validation. They wait until they're sure it'll work. But success doesn't wait. While you're waiting, someone else is doing. While you're planning, someone else is acting. While you're getting ready, someone else is getting results. The greatest obstacle to your success isn't your circumstances. It's not your background. It's not your education. It's not your connections. It's your hesitation. Every day you hesitate is a day you can't get back. Every day you wait is a day someone else is moving forward. Every day you delay is a day of opportunity lost. But what about failure? What about making mistakes? What about looking foolish? Here's the truth. You're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to look foolish. So what? Failure isn't fatal. Mistakes aren't permanent. Looking foolish isn't the end of the world. The only real failure is failing to act. The only real mistake is waiting too long. The only real foolishness is letting fear stop you. You need to understand something about action that most people never grasp. Action isn't about being perfect. It's about being in motion. A car that's moving can be steered. A car that's parked can't go anywhere. Stop trying to figure everything out before you start. Start, then figure it out along the way. Stop trying to avoid all mistakes. Make mistakes, then learn from them. Stop trying to eliminate all risks. Take calculated risks, then adjust based on results. The people who succeed aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who never quit. They're the ones who fall 7 times and get up 8. They're the ones who turn their failures into feedback, their mistakes into lessons, their setbacks into comebacks. Every successful person you admire started somewhere. They started unsure. They started scared. They started unprepared. But they started. Your action needs to be bigger than your excuse. Your commitment needs to be stronger than your fear. Your desire for success needs to be greater than your comfort with mediocrity. Stop waiting for someone to pick you. Pick yourself. Stop waiting for someone to give you permission. Give yourself permission. Stop waiting for someone to show you the way. Make your own way. The time will pass anyway. 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, time will pass. The only question is, will you be closer to your dreams or still waiting to start? Step 5, the Success Acceleration System. Success isn't an event. It's not a moment. It's not a milestone. Success is a system, and once you understand this, everything changes. Most people fail because they treat success like a lottery ticket. They hope, they wish, they wait. But success isn't random. It's not luck. It's not chance. It's mathematical. Here's the truth about acceleration. It's not about moving fast. It's about moving smart, building momentum, creating inevitability. Think about a rocket ship. Most of its fuel is used in the first few minutes of launch. Why? Because breaking through the atmosphere is the hardest part. Breaking through your current level is exactly the same. You need maximum force at the start, maximum effort, maximum focus. But once you break through, once you hit your success atmosphere, that's when momentum takes over. Here's how real acceleration works. Everything you do either creates momentum or kills it. Every decision, every action, every habit. There's no neutral. You're either moving forward or falling behind. The acceleration formula is simple. Right actions plus right timing plus right sequence equal to unstoppable momentum. But most people get this wrong. They take random actions at random times in random order and wonder why they're not getting results. Success acceleration isn't about doing more things. It's about doing the right things in the right order at the right time. Morning routine? Useless if you're working on the wrong things. Networking? Waste of time if you're not ready to capitalize on connections. Business strategies? Pointless if your mindset isn't prepared for success. You need to understand something crucial. Speed isn't about how fast you can go. It's about how much unnecessary weight you can strip away. Want to accelerate your success? Start eliminating. Eliminate activities that don't serve your goals. Eliminate people who don't fuel your growth. Eliminate habits that don't power your progress. Eliminate thoughts that don't drive your success. The fastest way to accelerate isn't to add speed, it's to remove resistance. Let me break down exactly how success acceleration really works. Most people are trying to succeed with the brakes on. They want to rise up, but they're holding on to old habits. They want to level up, but they're keeping old friends who drag them down. They want to build wealth, but they're maintaining poor money habits. You can't fly with anchors. You can't sprint with chains. You can't accelerate with brakes. Here's the real acceleration formula. First, you need clarity, crystal clear clarity. Not some vague goal like, I want to be successful or I want to be rich. That's like typing somewhere nice into your GPS. It doesn't work. You need specific coordinates for your success. Exact numbers, precise goals, clear deadlines. Second, you need leverage. Success acceleration isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter, finding leverage points, using tools, building systems. Think about it. You can push a car by yourself, or you can turn on the engine. That's leverage. You can write one email at a time, or you can build an email system. That's leverage. You can serve one client at a time, or you can create a scalable product. That's leverage. Third, You need sequence. This is where most people mess up. They try to do everything at once. They try to build the penthouse before the foundation. Success has a sequence: foundation before growth systems, before scale identity, before outcome mindset, before tactics. Fourth, you need momentum. Momentum isn't just about moving fast, it's about moving smart. Building speed in the right direction, creating unstoppable force. Small wins create momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates bigger wins. Bigger wins create more momentum. This is how you create success acceleration. This is how you break through. But here's what nobody tells you about acceleration. It's uncomfortable. It's supposed to be. Just like a rocket ship feels massive pressure breaking through the atmosphere, you'll feel pressure breaking through your current level. That pressure you're feeling, that resistance, that discomfort, it's not a sign to slow down. It's a sign you're breaking through. Think about water boiling. At 211 degrees, water is hot. At 212 degrees, it boils. 1 degree makes the difference between hot water and steam power. Your success works the same way. Small shifts create massive breakthroughs. Here's what real acceleration looks like in practice. Every morning, you wake up and do something that pushes your limits. Not something comfortable, not something easy, something that makes you stretch, something that makes you grow. Every day, you focus on high-leverage activities. Not busy work, not distractions. Activities that move the needle, activities that create real impact. Every week, you review and adjust. You look at what's working and double down. You look at what's not working and eliminate it. No emotion, no attachment, just pure focus on results. Every month you measure your momentum, not just your progress, but your speed of progress. Are you moving faster? Are you creating bigger impact? Are you generating stronger results? But here's the key to acceleration that most people miss. It's not linear. Success doesn't move in a straight line. It moves in curves, in waves, in breakthroughs. You'll have acceleration periods where everything seems to happen at once. Deals close, opportunities appear, results multiply. This isn't luck, this is momentum. You'll also have preparation periods, times when it feels like nothing's happening. But under the surface, you're building pressure, building power, building potential, just like a bullet leaves the chamber faster than the eye can see. But the powder takes time to ignite. Your success has an ignition sequence, a preparation phase, a launch phase, a breakthrough phase. The secret is knowing which phase you're in and what it demands from you. In the preparation phase, you build, you learn, you gather resources, you create systems. In the launch phase, you execute. You take massive action. You push through resistance. You break through limits. Breakthrough phase, you scale, you multiply, you leverage, you accelerate. Most people quit during preparation because they can't see results. They quit during launch because it's uncomfortable. They quit during breakthrough because they're not ready for speed. Don't be most people. The real secret to maintaining acceleration is understanding this. Momentum is a force multiplier. Once you have it, you don't need to work as hard. The momentum does the work for you. Think about pushing a heavy boulder. The hardest part is getting it moving. But once it's rolling, it builds its own momentum. Success works exactly the same way. Here's what happens when you hit true acceleration. Opportunities start finding you instead of you chasing them. People start reaching out to you instead of you reaching out to them. Money starts flowing to you instead of you struggling for it. But this is also where most people mess up. They hit some success and get comfortable. They ease off, they slow down, and that's exactly when they lose their momentum. Remember this, the moment you think you've made it is the moment you start falling behind. Success isn't a destination, it's a trajectory. The moment you stop accelerating is the moment you start declining. Real success acceleration is about creating compound momentum. Just like compound interest in money, compound momentum in success means each win builds on the last one. Each achievement creates leverage for the next one. Each breakthrough opens doors for bigger breakthroughs. But here's what nobody tells you about maintaining momentum. You need to become obsessed with progress. Not just progress in your business or your bank account, but progress in yourself. Every day you should be learning something that makes you more valuable, building something that creates more leverage, connecting with someone who expands your opportunities, creating something that increases your impact. Success acceleration isn't just about moving fast. It's about moving forward with increasing speed, increasing impact, and increasing returns. Think about a jet breaking the sound barrier. Right before it happens, the resistance is highest, the pressure is maximum. Everything feels like it's about to fall apart, but push through that barrier. Everything changes. The rules change. The game changes. Your reality changes. Your success has sound barriers too. Points where resistance is highest right before your biggest breakthroughs. Most people back off when they hit this resistance. They slow down when they should speed up. They retreat when they should advance. The key to maintaining acceleration is simple. When you feel the resistance, that's your signal to push harder. When you feel the pressure, that's your signal to lean in. When you feel the fear, that's your signal to accelerate. The ultimate acceleration happens in your mind first. It's when your brain starts operating at a different frequency. When your thinking accelerates, everything else follows. Think about this. Have you ever noticed how the most successful people seem to make decisions faster, move faster, create results faster? It's not because they're smarter. It's because they've trained their minds to process information and opportunities at a higher speed. This is what I call success processing speed. Just like a computer, your brain has a processing speed for success. Most people are running on old, slow software. They take days to make decisions that should take minutes, weeks to take actions that should take days, months to create results that should take weeks. But here's how you upgrade your success processing speed. First, you have to eliminate decision friction. Every time you hesitate, second guess, or overanalyze, you're creating mental friction. This friction slows down your success speed. Start making decisions faster, not reckless decisions, but decisive ones. When an opportunity appears, you should already know your criteria for yes or no. When a problem appears, you should already have your principles for solving it. Second, you need to upgrade your success operating system. Your mind runs on belief systems, just like a computer runs on operating systems. If you're running on a scarcity operating system, you'll process opportunities slowly, cautiously, fearfully. Upgrade to an abundance operating system, and suddenly your mind starts processing opportunities differently. Faster, more efficiently, more powerfully. Third, you have to increase your success bandwidth. Most people can only handle 1 or 2 success channels at a time. One business, one project, one goal. But real acceleration happens when you can process multiple success channels simultaneously. Multiple businesses, multiple investments, multiple growth trajectories. About multitasking, it's about expanding your capacity to handle success at. The final key to acceleration is understanding this. Success creates success. Money creates money. Power creates power. But only if you're running at the right processing speed. At the highest levels of success, things don't happen in years or months. They happen in weeks and days. The deals are bigger, the movements are faster, the impacts are larger. Are you ready for that speed? Have you trained your mind to process at that level? Have you upgraded your success operating system to handle that velocity? Because here's the truth. The opportunity of a lifetime comes around a lot more often than people think. But if your success processing speed is too slow, you'll miss it every time. Let me wrap this all together with some hard truth and real hope. Everything we've talked about, the mindset shifts, the environment changes, the money understanding, the action blueprint, the acceleration system, it all comes down to one simple truth. You are not your past. You are not your circumstances. You are not your starting point. You are your decisions, your actions, your persistence. Listen to me carefully. Right now, at this exact moment, you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to more of the same struggles, the same limitations, the same results. The other path, it leads to everything we've talked about. But here's the thing. Both paths are hard. Staying where you are is hard. Changing your life is hard. Being broke is hard. Building wealth is hard. Living with regret is hard. Living with purpose is hard. Choose your hard. Because here's what I know about you. Yes, you specifically reading this right now, you have more potential than you realize. You have more strength than you know. You have more resilience than you've tested. But potential without action is nothing. Strength without direction is wasted. Resilience without purpose is just survival. So here's my challenge to you. Stop waiting for permission to rise. Stop waiting for the perfect time to start. Stop waiting for someone to believe in you. Stop waiting for circumstances to change. Start now. Start where you are. Start with what you have. Remember, every great success story started with one decision. Every fortune started with $1. Every empire started with one action. Every legacy started with one choice. That choice is in front of you right now. Don't let fear stop you. Let it fuel you. Don't let doubt stop you. Let it drive you. Don't let the past define you. Let it teach you. Don't let others limit you. Let them inspire you. Your status is not your story unless you stop writing right here. The world needs what you have. The market needs what you can create. The future needs what you can build. Humanity needs what you can contribute. So rise. Rise above your circumstances. Rise above your limitations. Rise above your fears. Rise above your past. The world doesn't need another person playing small. It doesn't need another dream deferred. It doesn't need another what-if story. It needs you, the full you, the real you, the unstoppable you. So take what you've learned here. Apply it relentlessly. Execute it consistently. Live it fully. Your new story starts now. Your rise begins today. Your time is here. The only question is, are you ready to rise? Remember, it's not about being ready. It's about being willing. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's not about being fearless. It's about being committed. Think about this. Every story of success, every story of transformation, every story of rising, has something most people never see: the quiet moments. The moments of doubt, the moments of fear, the moments when everything seems impossible. But those moments, they're not your enemy. They're your proving ground. You see, what separates those who rise from those who remain is not the absence of these moments. It's what they do in these moments. Let me share something deeper about success that most people miss. Success isn't just about what you achieve. It's about who you become in the process of achieving. Every challenge you face is not just an obstacle to overcome. It's an invitation to grow. Every setback isn't just a disappointment. It's a setup for a comeback. When you're sitting alone, doubting yourself, questioning if all this effort is worth it, remember this: the doubt you're feeling isn't a sign to quit. It's a sign you're growing. It's your old self resisting your new self trying to emerge. Think about a butterfly. During transformation, it completely dissolves inside its cocoon before rebuilding itself. That moment of complete dissolution, that's where you might be right now. And just like the butterfly, this dissolution is not your end, it's your transformation. The road ahead won't be easy. There will be days when you want to quit, days when it seems like nothing's working, days when everyone else seems to be moving forward while you're standing still. These are the days that matter most, because success is not built on the days when everything goes right. It's built on the days when everything goes wrong and you keep going anyway. Remember, every overnight success took years in the dark. Every lucky break came after countless setbacks. Every natural talent was forged through relentless practice. You're not just changing your circumstances, you're changing your identity. You're not just building a better life, you're building a better you. And here's something crucial to understand. This journey of rising, it never really ends. Because once you rise to one level, you'll see the next level waiting. Once you solve one problem, you'll find bigger problems to solve. Once you achieve one dream, you'll dream bigger dreams. That's the beauty of it. That's the adventure of it. That's the glory of it. So as we end this journey together, remember this: your rise isn't just about you. Your success isn't just for you. Your transformation will inspire others. Your courage will give others courage. Your rise will help others rise. The world needs your story. Not just the end result, but the journey, the struggles, the victories, the lessons, all of it. Now go write that story. Make it bold. Make it brave. Make it true. And remember, this isn't the end. It's just the beginning. Rise. The world is waiting for your light. Life will test your commitment. It will challenge your resolve. It will question your dedication. Not because life is against you, but because life is preparing you. Every test is a testimony waiting to happen. Every challenge is a chapter in your story. Every obstacle is an opportunity in disguise. Think about water for a moment. When it meets an obstacle, it doesn't stop. It doesn't give up. It finds a way around, over, or through. Be like water. Your rise isn't just a journey, it's a responsibility. Because somewhere out there, someone is watching. Someone is wondering if they can rise too. Someone needs to see your example to believe in their own possibilities. Remember this: in your darkest moments, your struggles today are the strength someone else will need tomorrow. Your courage in this moment is the inspiration someone else will use to find their own courage. Success leaves clues, yes, but more importantly, success leaves trails. Trails for others to follow, trails that light the way. Your rise creates a path for others to follow. So rise with purpose, rise with passion, rise with persistence. But most importantly, rise with the understanding that your rise is bigger than you. The world doesn't just need successful people. It needs successful people who remember what it was like to struggle, who understand what it means to start from nothing, who know how it feels to doubt and rise anyway. Your status was your starting point. Your story is your creation. Your rise is your responsibility. Your impact is your legacy. Now go, take everything you've learned, apply it, live it, share it. Because this isn't just about changing your life anymore. It's about changing lives through your life. Rise, the world is waiting. And remember, your greatest chapter isn't behind you. It's not even where you are now. It's in what you do next. Rise, your time is now.